GT1 pole position, but we're on board here at the start with Steve O'Rourke. Look at the power that F1 GTR has got, and he used every single brake horsepower of it. Terrific stuff from O'Rourke. On board with him, they swing their way through. There's been a huge drama about which tyres to go with here because of course it rained earlier, but it's now bright and cheerful. And oh, somebody out wide there, that's coloured Lockie in the Porsche, getting very wide out. But talking of Porsches, there is the leader, John Greasley, with Tiff Needell right behind him in the Newcastle United Lister Storm. Everybody else making their way through. There's O'Rourke, and tucked in behind him, Matt Neal. Now they're out there on slicks, and that could be very tricky indeed. Matt Neal partnering David Leslie in the other of the GT1 911s, the ex-John Nielsen Torquil tiring car, and there is a retirement by the looks of things. Jake Ulrich. The Goldfish car looks like it's run out of water and all sorts of other things. Well, the new leader, Peter Hardman, goes through. There is Greasley back in second, and Greasley runs wide. Oh, hang on there for the ride of your life. Tiff Needell goes through in the Lister Storm. Also going through the Harrier, Jamie Campbell-Walter at the wheel of that, and Paul Evans in the other of the Lister Storms, and so too Steve O'Rourke. So a huge number of places there lost by Greasley. And Dave Warnock spins the Mustang around. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, at least he didn't hit anything, and it looks like he can just select the gear and continue on his merry way. Now with these conditions drying out, this is really favouring Matt Neal. Here we are on board with Matt Neal. The right tucked up behind Tiff Needell. Needell ahead, and will the slicks work for Neal? I think they will. He's going to go to the inside. Down they come to Cox. Well, Matt Neal absolutely scything his way through the field. I suspect he is thoroughly enjoying himself. We're on board with the other GT1 Porsche 911, and we're losing a place to now the leader in the GT2 class. That's Kurt Luby and Richard Dean going through. Brake lights on, cross the line, snatching another gear as they go. The roar and rumble. Well, this Viper has been so dominant, leads the championship overall as well as the GT2 class. And at the moment, Richard Dean at the wheel of that. Now, first round of pit stop, then Tiff Needell gets out in a rather unstylish manner for Tiff, you have to say. Getting on board, Julian Bailey. Now they're opting for slicks. Also on board here in the McLaren. Tim Sugden fires it up. So Sugden and O'Rourke have changed over, so too Bailey and Needell. And of course, need to get some heat into those tyres down the pit lane. Here's the TVR 12, the Speed 12 just tucked in there. Great challenge going on. Bobby Verdenroe then at the wheel of the TVR moves the Speed 12 into second place. In fact, they're the leader now because in the pit lane is Matt Neal. He's out of the car. David Leslie will take over. Well, it looked like a smooth stop. Whether they can continue in the lead, Matt, very hot and tired, but look at that. Yeah, I thought you enjoyed that, Matt. Back on board with the GT2 class. Richard Dean at the wheel of the V10 Viper. And said before, their performance has been dominant. We're on board here with Tim Sugden just out of the pit lane. Oh, and he's not got enough heat into those tyres. He's got it all heading towards the gravel trap. Well, can he get through? That's the question. Out at Beckett's is where he is. And I'm sure that cold tyres will have a part to play in that. The track surface is dry, but it's very, very cool. And that is something that Belinda and ahead of him fighting out for the lead. Julian Bailey, side by side they are. And will Belinda go round the outside of that marker? Might come into play, and he's through. No, in fact, he's not. Belinda jigs to the inside. Great awareness of what was going on around him, but you have to feel sorry for Julian Bailey. He just had nowhere to go, and not blaming the back marker at all. Back on board with Julian Bailey. Well, after that earlier move on Belinda, he's going to try and go down the inside to recapture the lead. He's through. Bailey takes the Lister Storm back into the lead. Belinda has no answer, and Tiff Needell is very pleased indeed. On board with Kilian Koenig in the second of the Vipers. Oh, he's missed a gear there, and he's now a passenger in that car, bracing himself. Oh, dear, dear. Petrol and fuel spill everywhere. That's a huge impact. And, well, Tiff Needell is meanwhile celebrating because he thinks he's got the victory, but we've got red flags. Well, Koenig being attended to. Red flags will mean that it's counted back a lap, and that means that victory is handed to Greasley and Belinda. The good news is Kilian Koenig is okay. The better news at the top of the table for Luby and Dean is that they continue to lead the championship. It's all happening here, and we're back with MGS right after this.